Welcome to Yoga with Kelly. My name's Kelly, and as we get started today with a gentle yoga practice, feel free to gather a couple of supports, and that would be a yoga block and a yoga blanket. If you don't have these at home, that's no problem. You can easily use a filled water bottle, a sturdy book, in place of a yoga block, and you can also use a bath towel or a small blanket in place of a yoga blanket. So if you would like those supports today, go ahead, press pause, and go ahead and get those things, and then join us back. Okay, so as we get set up today, we're going to incorporate a hand mudra. So a hand mudra is a bit like yoga with hands, and it's another way of incorporating the body to help guide the mind in a particular direction that we'd like for it to go. So today's hand mudra is a bit like a heart embrace. So what that looks like is that we spread our fingers kind of out like wings, and we can have our palms facing towards us. And then we're going to bring our hands together so that our thumbs touch and one palm just rests on top of the other, and then we can rest that over our heart space. And feel free to just relax the elbows down. If you feel okay to close your eyes, I invite you to do so that you can really look inward, maybe noticing the gentle weight of your hands over your heart. You might feel a little bit of warmth, maybe coming from the hands or the chest. And then imagining these hands as healing, loving hands with a kind of gentleness or warmth that you might soothe a frightened puppy. And we'll take 5 breaths together so that when we inhale, the belly expands, and on the exhale, the belly draws in towards the spine. And as we breathe together with these belly breaths, we'll do 5 of them. So that we'll count 1 on the inhale, 1 on the exhale, and then 2 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale, and so on, until you get to the end of that 5th breath. And if you lose your place, that's no problem. You just come back to the breath. Whenever you're ready, taking your time, you can release your hands down wherever you'd like. And we'll begin to sit naturally tall. So you might bring a gentle lift to the torso. And then the crown of your head, the very top of your head, extends a little bit further towards the sky. And we can relax our shoulders, perhaps gently drawing the lower belly in, just to support a flat lower back. Again, option to close the eyes. And notice the quality of our breath right now. Is it still free and easy? When you're ready, relaxing the muscles in our neck so that our chin drops towards our sternum. And we can just roll that left ear over towards the left shoulder. Now, if there's any pain, go ahead and gently bring your head up and just use a hand to massage that right shoulder inside of the neck. Reminder to breathe here. A lot of times we hold tension in our neck. And when we're tense, there's kind of an instinct to hold the breath as like a defensive posture. So reminder to breathe. You can also shift your head a little forward and back. See if you notice how that stretch sensation shifts across the neck as you move your head gently. When you're ready, rolling that chin down to center again, and the right ear rolls over towards the right shoulder. If there's any pain, we bring the head up and just use a hand to massage. Breathing fully here. Moving the neck a little forward and back. Feel free to linger in any spot that feels like it needs a little extra lengthening. We can bring that chin back to center, just inhaling our head up. We'll move into the shoulders. So we'll start to create some shoulder rolls. And you can make these as large as you'd like. You can do one and then the other. Might reverse direction a few times. Okay. And then we'll take that left hand and we'll place it down outside of our left hip. And we'll begin to lean towards the left. Notice how a stretch sensation starts to happen on the right side. So you're going to decide how deep of a bend feels right for you. And then option to take that right arm reaching towards the left. Totally optional here. And let's breathe into that right lung. You might feel those little muscles between the ribs expanding. Increasing our breath capacity here. Might roll out that right wrist if that feels good. And then we can inhale ourselves back up. And that right hand just gently floats down. And then setting up for the other side, we'll plant that right hand down. Can be just outside of that right hip. We start to create a bend towards the right. The depth is up to you. And we can take that left hand, reaching towards the right again, totally optional. Your neck and gaze can go wherever it feels good for you. And we'll breathe into that left lung. Maybe rolling out the left wrist. And then we can inhale ourselves back up. Maybe a little movement to kind of reset. We'll take that left hand, placing it a little bit behind us on the left side. Your right hand can go wherever is comfortable for you. And let's inhale to grow naturally tall again, like we did towards the beginning. And then on your next exhale, we can do a gentle twist towards the left. So we'll keep lengthening through the crown of our head. You can draw the lower belly in to support your lower back. You can relax those shoulders away from the ears. Again, you're always going to choose your gaze based on how your neck feels. Let's take 2 more of those belly breaths here. Then we can slowly release back to center, setting up for the other side. Take that right hand a little bit behind us on the right, left hand wherever you'd like. We inhale to grow naturally tall again. And on the exhale, gentle twist towards the right. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, but continuing to lengthen from the waist up. And perhaps taking 2 more of those belly breaths. 1 more. And gently releasing back to center. We'll do cat-cow from a seated position with a bit of a variation, kind of along those lines of some self-nurturance today. So for cow, we'll rock forward so that most of our weight now is on the front part of our legs. And our gaze will be up, and we can just bring those elbows a little bit back. So there's a little bit of lengthening across the heart space. And then for cat, we're going to rock back onto the tailbone, rounding forward, bringing the hands to our biceps and a bit of a hug, and gaze is down. So we'll move with our breath. We'll inhale, rocking forward into cow. Exhale, back into cat. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling back on the tailbone into cat. And moving with your own breath here. We're taking 1 more cycle. Beautiful. All right, let's come to hands and knees. So this is a nice place to use that yoga blanket or towel as just a little bit of cushion for the knees. And we'll bring our knees generally underneath our hips and our palms generally underneath our shoulders. Now here, feel free to just take any movements that feel good for you. So you can move the hips side to side. If you want to take some traditional cat-cows, you can also do that. Feel free to take a child's pose by sitting your glutes back towards your heels. Just any movements you would like for just another round of breath. And coming back to center, we'll take a brief downward dog. So we'll just walk our hands a bit forward here, and we'll tuck our toes and we'll send our hips up and back. Feel free to keep those knees bent. The legs don't have to be straight, but we'll let those shoulders just kind of melt down our back away from the ears. might just do a subtle rotation of the arms so that the inside of the elbows facing a little bit forward, even though they won't do that fully. And feel free to just kind of pedal out one leg and then the other. Or you can bend both legs, sending belly a little closer to the thighs. Just taking 2 more breaths here in your downward dog. And then we can bring our knees back down to the mat. And coming into forward fold, we'll walk our hands towards our feet. Coming to our feet, we'll keep that upper body hanging forward. Your hands can just kind of hang towards the ground. It's okay if they don't touch. I encourage you to give like a bend in those legs so that the kind of belly sort of rests on top of your thighs. And we can let the head dangle, maybe shake yes and no. You're welcome to give a little bounce or sway. Or grab opposite elbows. You might try straightening one leg and then the other. See if you can make this feel good, whatever sort of adjustments you need. Okay, if you've had opposite elbows, let's go ahead and release those. To roll up, we're going to put a bend in the legs, and we're going to draw that lower belly in to support our back as we roll up slowly, one vertebrae on top of the other, head and neck very last, nice and slow. Beautiful. Coming into mountain, let's begin to actively press down into the earth from our waist down, rooting our feet into the earth, turning those leg muscles on. And then as we root down through the legs, we'll begin to lengthen from the waist up. So bringing that gentle lift in the torso, and the crown of our head, the peak of our mountain extending a little bit further towards the sky. Shoulders can drop down and back. Palms might be spread facing forward. Option to close the eyes. Perhaps breathing a little bit more consciously here. And then just syncing a little movement to breath, we can inhale our arms up. And on the exhale, palms come together, back, heart center. Now, if that didn't feel good on the shoulders, you can always open up to the side and then draw back in. So we'll do this 3 times. You're welcome to join me or do all of it on your own with your own breath. If you're with me, we'll empty the breath. Inhaling, we reach. Exhale, hands, heart center. Inhaling, opening. Exhale, hands, heart center. Inhaling and exhale. Okay, so let's do Warrior 2 on the left side. So as we get set up, if you've got one of those yoga blocks, bottles, books, go ahead and put that somewhere accessible, closer to your left leg here. And we can take that left foot and point it out towards the left or towards the top of your mat, depending on how you're set up. And that right foot can come back. And for warrior two, it's parallel to the edge of the mat, right? And what that does is it takes our hips and opens them up in between the legs. So we kind of bend and straighten that left leg. The depth of the lunge is up to you. Get a sense of the lower body here. And then creating a still bend in that left leg. Take a look at that left knee. Is it tracking right in line with the left foot? We'll stack our shoulders over our hips. We can draw that lower belly in to support the back. Option to extend those arms out towards opposite horizons. Only if it's okay on the neck. We gaze over that left middle finger. The shoulders drop down from the ears. You can always bring both hands or one hand down. And taking 3 belly breaths here. One more breath. Beautiful. We keep those legs in warrior two. Coming into side angle, we hinge towards the left. That left forearm can come on top of that left thigh. Feel free to adjust your stance, right? Or it can come with your hand, depends on your body. And then totally optional to extend that right hand towards the sky. Gaze can go wherever's comfortable on the neck. And you might try kind of pressing your hips a little forward and then rolling back that right shoulder just to open up. Are you breathing? And lengthening both sides of the waist. One more full breath. And then we can bring that right hand down, coming into triangle. We can straighten that left leg, and we can use a block or a bottle for our left hand. Let's keep a micro bend in that left leg. And again, lengthening through both sides of the waist. We can press our hips a little bit forward, and again, opening up that right arm. Perhaps taking 2 more breaths. One more. Beautiful. Let's bring that right hand down. Let's give a bend in that left leg. Draw the belly in as you come back up. Let's take that pretend yoga block or the real one and now put it towards the right foot. And we'll have both toes pointed towards the front here. So feel free to just move those hips around. Any movements you need to kind of reset. You might feel a little warmth, a little muscle engagement. Remember, you can always come out. You're never stuck. Okay, so now we're going to do warrior two on the right side. So you might have to switch your stance, or if you're lengthwise like me, you can keep that left foot right where it is, parallel to the edge of the mat, and that right foot is just going to turn out towards the right. And we can kind of bend and straighten that right leg, get a sense of this side of the body. Remember, how deep that lunge is up to you. Some people might like it really slight. Others might like it quite deep. So you decide. Okay, then we'll create a still bend in that right leg. We'll check that our knee is in line with that right foot. We'll stack our shoulders over our hips. We can draw the lower belly in. Option to reach out arms towards opposite horizons. We relax the shoulder. Gaze can go off over that middle right finger. We might turn that breath on a little bit more here. 2 more belly breaths. 1 more. Okay, side angle on the right side. So we'll take that right forearm. We can put it on top of that right thigh. And let's lengthen both sides of the waist here instead of being kind of dumped or crunched over. Then we can take that left hand option to lift it towards the sky. Your gaze can go wherever you'd like. We can press those hips forward and really kind of open up with the left shoulder here. Taking 2 more breaths. Feeling the warmth. 1 more. Okay, let's bring that left hand down to give it a break. Coming into triangle, we're going to straighten the right leg, keeping a micro bend, not to lock out the right knee. I'm going to use my yoga block to bring my right hand down to it. And then I'm just going to press those hips a bit forward. And I'm going to raise the left hand towards the sky. If that ever becomes uncomfortable, you can always bring it down, right? Gaze is up to you. Are you breathing? 2 more breaths. 1 more full breath. Beautiful. Let's bend that right leg. Draw the belly in to come up. And let's go ahead and just kind of, I don't think we'll need this yoga block. Okay, let's go ahead and just sort of reset again by shifting the hips. We're going to do a little bit of a flow. So that's just syncing movement to breath. And with flows, you never want to take them too seriously, okay? So it's really just to kind of move with your breath. So don't take it too seriously. You're welcome to do your own thing, or you're welcome to follow me. So we'll bring our hands heart center. And let's take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2 on the left. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, warrior 2. And exhale, hands, heart center, feet forward. Let's take an inhale together as we do the other side. Exhale, warrior 2 to the right. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, warrior 2. And exhale, hands, heart center, toes forward. All right, that's it. Let's do it 1 more time now that you know where we're going. If you're with me, take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2 to the left. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, hands, heart center, toes forward. Beautiful. Let's take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2 to the right. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, hands, heart center. Beautiful. Okay, let's come out, just shake it out a little bit. Feel free to take a sip of water. Okay, let's do eagle together. All right. So as we set up for eagle, let's talk about arm variations. So for arm variations, what we can do is we can bring palms together, forearms together, elbows together. That's one option. You can also take your left forearm, stacking it over your right forearm, or we bring the hands up and we wrap the right forearm underneath the left. You can bring the back of the palms together or do the full wrap. It's going to be up to you and your body, okay? All right, so let's just start with palms heart center. We're going to sit back as if we were sitting back into an invisible chair, okay? Now let's go ahead and we're going to take that right leg and we're going to bring it over the left thigh. And you can go ahead and you can stay right here, or if you want to do the full bind, you can with the legs. And then you're going to choose your arm variation. You're going to draw the lower belly in, gaze at something that's not moving, breathing for 3, for 2, and for 1. Okay, let's go ahead and come out. Let's just shake that out a little bit as we set up to do the other side. So, for arm variation, this time, that left forearm is going to go underneath the right forearm, or that left arm is going to wrap underneath the right. So you can pick your variation, and we'll go ahead and we'll sit back into that chair, putting our weight into that right leg. We'll lift the left leg, coming across the right thigh, option to fully wrap the foot or not, drawing the lower belly in, gaze at something that's not moving, continue to breathe, don't hold your breath, for 3, for 2, and wobbling for 1. Okay, let's come out and just shake it out. And we're gonna wind down. So we're gonna move to the mat here. So, as we come down, again, feel free to get a sip of water. And we're going to make our way down onto our backs, but we're going to leave our knees up. We're going to move towards a reclined pigeon, if you know where we're going. So we'll leave that left foot planted on the earth. We'll lift the right leg, and bending at the knee, the right knee will come out towards the right. We'll flex the right foot, and the outside of the right ankle comes just above the left knee, okay? Now, you are welcome to stay right here if you're feeling a lot of sensation, okay? If you want more, that left foot leaves the earth, this whole figure comes towards you to whatever degree, and that right hand threads through the space in between the legs, coming around to the back of the left thigh, and left hand meets the right, and we breathe. A nice opportunity to close the eyes. Where could you soften a little bit more right now? Could you soften the face, or the jaw, or the belly? What's the quality of your breath? You can even imagine sending your breath into that sensation in that inner right thigh and hip, to let the breath create more space, allowing it to be there. with that sensation. When you're ready, releasing the left leg, left foot comes back to the earth. We slowly unhook the right. And you can kind of just move windshield wiper those knees a little bit if you want. Or maybe even giving a squeeze, hugging the knees in. And then we'll let our right foot come to meet the earth. And we'll lift the left foot, bending out the left knee. The left knee comes out towards the left side. We flex the left foot, and the outside of the left ankle comes just above the right knee. And an option again to stay right here. Or that right foot can leave the earth. This whole figure comes towards you. Left hand threads through the space in between the legs, the back of the right thigh. Right hand joins the left. And again, we breathe. There can be a lot of sensation in the hips, so just know you're not stuck. You're welcome to move or release the right leg. You can again send the breath into that left inner thigh and hip. Letting the breath just open up some space there. You might feel a lot also in the back of that left thigh and in the glute. Again, just softening, allowing that sensation to be present. Keeping the breath flowing. When you're ready, you can release that right leg. Slowly unhook the left. Again, feel free to just move the knees side to side. And then we can hug those knees back in. Maybe give a little squeeze or a little rock. You might move the knees in a circle to massage the lower back. You can reverse direction a few times. And then for supine twist here, we'll just let those knees fall over towards the right. And if you've got the space to open up your arms like wings, that can increase stability. But we want to keep both shoulders connected to the earth. So if that left shoulder has peeled up off the ground, then just take that yoga block, bottle, book, towel, whatever you got, and just place it in between your outer right thigh and the ground so you can have more stability up top. Okay? Again, option to close the eyes. You might notice a lengthening along the left side of the body, especially the torso. See if you can relax the legs, the lower body a little bit more. Just let gravity do the work here so that you can just really release. If your mind wanders during these more still yoga poses, just bring your attention back to your breath, watching the sensation of breathing. we'll slowly bring those knees back up. You might have to shift the hips to kind of re-straighten the spine, maybe give another hug in as we set up for the other side. So we'll let those knees come over towards the right, towards the left. But if that right shoulder has peeled up, right, then we want to put something in between our outer left leg and the floor. We've got the space to open our arms like wings. Again, softening, relaxing the lower body. Giving permission to the right hemisphere of our brain to turn off. And the left hemisphere of the brain, permission to turn off. Staying present with the breath. Then we can slowly bring those knees back up. Again, shifting the hips to straighten out the spine. And perhaps one final hug in of the legs before we set up for final relaxation form. So feel free to get anything you need, socks, sip of water, blanket, anything so that you can really rest here. And at your own pace, no rush, we can extend one leg long and then the other. You can just let those feet sort of flop out to the sides. Your arms can go along your side, palms can be down, flipped up. Or my favorite is hands resting over my lower belly. I encourage you to close the eyes. And let's start at our forehead by relaxing the muscles in the forehead so that the surface is soft and smooth. We'll soften the muscles behind the eyes. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. A little bit of space between the top row of the teeth and the bottom row. That relaxation travels down the neck into the shoulders, so that our shoulders might feel a little bit heavier. And the chest area and upper belly is soft so that our breath has lots of room to move in and out. And the lower belly and space in between the hip bones is soft and warm. And the thighs get a little heavier and more relaxed. And the calves get a little heavier. And our ankles, even the inside of our arches and our toes are fully relaxed. We just let gravity do the work. And then finally the arms, the hands, at complete ease. Knowing you're fully supported by the ground, where can you release or soften just a little bit more? Now all the work is done. Remember that rest is a part of the practice. Your only remaining job, stay present. You can always come back to your breathing or a body scan, and I will call you out in about a minute. Just go ahead, begin to deepen the breath, wiggling the toes, rolling out the wrists. You might want to reach your arms overhead for a stretch. And then rolling over to your favorite side, using your arms like a pillow, hugging the knees in. Just pausing for a moment, resisting any urge to rush. And you can use your arm strength to press yourself up into any seated form. Let's bring our hands heart center. Just take a final moment to cultivate any positive feelings from your practice. And the light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned for more sequences of a variety of different types of yoga, and I hope you have a lovely rest of